Hey guys, what's up? My name is Blinks, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of theory crafting. So the PTR patch notes have just been released for the Medic or Lieutenant Morales patch, and I wanted to just take a look at them without actually having played the hero, without actually having experienced it myself, and give you guys my thoughts, and just have a little bit of fun with theory crafting, because I think it's always something that's fun to do. So first off, let's take a look at her abilities. So her trait, Caduceus or Caduceus Reactor, is regenerate 3.12% of your maximum health every second after not taking damage for 4 seconds. So kind of similar to Murda's ult. And I'm going to talk about why this trait is actually really important in just a second. So let's take a look at her first ability. It's called Healing Beam. So heal an ally for 40 plus 20 per level health a second, as long as they're in range. Reactivate to switch targets, or activate your trait to cancel the channel. And we have another ability here called Redirect Healing Beam. So basically you can choose another target for it, or you could use it on yourself to cancel the channeling. So keep that in mind, use on self to cancel channeling. What that means is that Medic actually cannot heal herself with her Healing Beam. So you can't heal yourself during combat. The only way you can heal yourself is by being out of combat and waiting for your trait to activate. Now, 3.12 health a second is pretty good. If you're at 1% health, you'll get all your health back in about 30 seconds. But still, Medic, I'm predicting that the counterplay to Medic is just going to be to focus her, because she can't really heal herself. Alright, her W is called Safeguard, so that's grant target ally resistance, reducing damage taken by 25% for 3 seconds. So I'm pretty sure that's from both physical damage and spell damage, so that's pretty good. It's got a pretty long cooldown, 15 seconds, but I think that it's a pretty high skill, high reward ability. Like if you use it willy-nilly, you're not going to get a lot out of it, but if you use it right as the enemy team is about to pull all their stuff into somebody, you will get a lot out of it. And then we have Displacement Grenade, which is fire a grenade that explodes on the first enemy hit, dealing 80 plus 20 per level damage, knocking enemies away. So 80 plus 20 per level isn't all that much, but I think depending on the radius and the knockback, this could actually be a really, really useful support skill. And then we have our ults that we're going to talk about when we get there. So, level 1, we have Prolonged Safeguard, which increases Safeguard's duration by 1 second. That's the shield. 2 Trauma Trigger, you gain an untalented Safeguard automatically if you take damage while below 50% health. This effect has a 20-second cooldown. Feedback Loop, when Safeguard expires, 45 mana is refunded. And Scouting Drone. So, right off the bat, I don't really like Feedback Loop, because even though mana recovery is nice, this ability has a 15-second cooldown. So I think it's going to be difficult to spam it and run out of mana, especially when you only really want to spam it when targets are being focused. So that's usually like in the beginning / like first half of a team fight. Scouting Drone, of course, can be good situationally. Prolonged Safeguard increases Safeguard's duration by 1 second, so instead of 3 seconds you get 4. I think that's alright, but I think that the talent to take on this tier is going to be Trauma Trigger. And that, again, goes back to the fact that you cannot heal yourself. You cannot use Healing Beam on yourself. So you're basically going to be the best target on your team for the enemy team to focus, since you're not going to be getting healed. So let's take Trauma Trigger at level 1. Level 4, we have Bioshield. If your target is at full health, they gain a shield that absorbs 170 or 27.5 plus 7.5 per level damage, stacking up to 5 times. That sounds pretty sweet. We also have Advanced Block, periodically reduces the damage received from hero basic attacks by 50%, stores up to 3 charges. Upgraded Ballistic, Displacement Grenade, travel 50% faster and enemies directly impacted take 30% more damage. And Infused Grenade, Displacement Grenade's mana cost is refunded if you hit an enemy hero. So we kind of noticed this trend of like mana refund. And even though I said that Feedback Loop might not be the best ability here, if we take Feedback Loop and Infused Grenade here, potentially that would really buff our Q, since Q is a channeled ability and it takes mana to cast it every second that it's casting. So maybe if Medic is like a really, really mana starved class, these two things will actually be good. But I don't really think that will be the case. That seems to be kind of against Blizzard's design philosophy. So upgraded ballistics, displacement grenade travels 50% faster, and enemies directly impacted take 33% more damage. I really don't think you're going to be using this ability for damage. It's more for like crowd control, for CC, for peeling people, so I don't like that. Advanced block might be really good depending on the team you're playing against. Like if you're playing against something like a Raynor or a Vala. The big thing here is that it stores 3 charges of block instead of 2, which is standard. So that could be really big. Once again, as we talked about earlier, Morales or Medic is going to have survivability problems, so this might be alright, but I kind of really like this ability. So if your target is at full health, they gain a shield that absorbs 170 damage, stacking up to 5 times. So I think the 170 is talking about at level 20. So depending on how fast the shield expires, hopefully it doesn't expire as soon as you stop channeling. Depending on how fast it expires, you could potentially, like, let's say you're playing with a Kerrigan, right? And you know the Kerrigan's going to initiate into the enemy team. If you just channel onto her for 5 seconds before the fight, you are going to have an extra 1,000 hit points on that Kerrigan, which is really good. So we're going to take that one. Level 7, displacement grenades, explosion radius increased by 33% and knocks back farther. All right. I mean, that might be good for what's it called, for a support. Irradiate enemies near your healing beams target take 50 damage a second. That could also be good if you're playing with like an Illidan or a Thrall or someone that gets really in their face. We know about Mule and we know about Cleanse. So obviously I haven't played around with these two talents before. I think in most cases I would take Cleanse if I needed it. But if I didn't take Cleanse, I do think that Clear is the best one here because, well, depending on how far the knockback is, there's really a lot of stuff you can do. You can knock the enemy team into your team. You can knock people chasing your team away. Like there's a lot of counterplay involved when you have a larger explosion radius, larger knockback radius. So hopefully this is sick because I think that supports in Heroes of the Storm need more utility skills rather than just, you know, a heal or a stun or something like that. So if we need Cleanse, if we're playing against like a Tyrael or a Johanna or something like that, or a Tyrande, we take Cleanse. But assuming we're not, we're going to assume we're just playing like a general Hero League game. We're going to take Clear, all right? So next, we have Stim Drone. Grant an allied hero 75% attack speed and 25% movement speed for 10 seconds. And Medevac Dropship. Target a location of Medevac support for up to 10.5 seconds before takeoff. Allies can right-click to enter the Medevac. So this is also this choice definitely comes down to your team pack. I think Stim Drone could be really sick if you had like an Illidan on your team, especially if you had a Thrall or a Butcher on your team. It would be totally insane. Obviously also with Raynor and Vala, heroes like that. This is going to be nuts, right? Obviously, we can't see how nuts until we test it, but 75% attack speed is a lot. And if you kind of build a teamer on buffing attack speed, let's say you have like a Raynor on your team with Inspire and an ETC on your team, I think potentially, and maybe like a Rhaegar with Bloodlust if you wanted to go crazy, I think potentially you could build a comp where like the Thrall or the Butcher just walk up to somebody and like insta one-shot them. But the ult I want to take for this build and the ult I want to talk about is Medevac Dropship. So, like, this is a really cool ult. It allows you to transport your whole team across the map. But I think the coolest thing about this ult is its cooldown. A 50-second cooldown is really low. And depending on how good you're doing in the map and depending on how long the range of the Medevac is, I mean, according to the videos they released, it looks really big. On small maps, like, I don't know, Tomb of the Spider Queen, Dragonshire, you could potentially just send 5 people to like push down a keep, or even like send 5 people to pressure core. Then when the enemy team comes, you just get the dropship out, everybody gets in the dropship, and you're totally safe. And like, you maybe got like a tower or a wall or some core damage for free. So, and it's on a 50-second cooldown, so you can use it again whenever. And you can also use it offensively, like you see the enemy team is pushing your mid, and then you just get in your medevac dropship and you come in behind them and totally wreck them because they're between your team and your towers. So yeah, I think this is going to have a lot of like absolutely sick play, and I think it's going to be really fun to watch in Pro Heroes of the Storm. So level 13, we have Intensive Care. When Healing Beam is on a single target for over 3 seconds, its healing amount increases by 25% and mana cost increases by 4. So, alright, well let's just read all of them before we start talking about them. Couples Therapy, while channeling Healing Beam, you're healed for 25% of the healing amount at the cost of an additional 4 mana per second. And Preventative Care, basic attacks against your Healing Beam target reduce the attacker's speed by 25% for 2.5 seconds, plus Spell Shield. So I think that this talent here is absolutely awesome, all right? So Intensive Care, basically you are increasing the amount of healing you do, which is going to be really useful versus, I don't know, like a Burst team or maybe like a Jaina or a KT team, right? Couples Therapy, you get healed for some of the portion that you heal for, so that kind of gets rid of, it doesn't really get rid of, but it helps alleviate the problems you have with not being able to heal yourself. So if you're getting focused a lot, you might want to take that. And then Preventative Care is also really cool. If you put this, if they have a heavy auto attack team and you put this on a tank with Imposing Presence or like Tyrael with Imposing Will, their attacks are going to be so slow that, I mean, they won't be able to stutter step. They won't be able to orb walk. I think that this has a lot of potential. It even has potential on people without Imposing Presence. Like, if you are playing against a Raynor or a Vala, Preventative Care may be better than Intensive Care because the effective healing you get from stopping like 1 out of every 4 auto attacks is going to be huge. And then Spell Shield, I mean, we all know about Spell Shield. So let's just assume we're like in a super general game. We're not being focused that much, and we're not playing against auto attackers. We're playing against a mix. We're going to take Intensive Care. Just because it's, you know, no matter what you're playing against, you're going to benefit from that increased healing when you're healing somebody else. So, 16, we have Inoculation, increases Safeguard's initial damage reduction to 50% for the first 1.5 seconds. Shield Sequencer, after casting Safeguard, you can cast it a second time within 3 seconds at no cost. System Shock, Displacement Grenade slows enemies by 50% for 4 seconds. The slow amount decays over its duration. And Second Opinion reduces Displacement Grenade's cooldown by 2 seconds, and it now holds a second charge. So it's a 10-second cooldown on Displacement Grenade. Oh my goodness. I don't know what that sound was. Hey guys, sorry about that. I had some crazy dude ringing my doorbell, knocking on my windows, and yeah, I had a very interesting morning, but you know, that's all better now, so let's get back to the patch notes. So I think 16 is a pretty good tier. I think Shield Sequencer might be the best thing on this tier, especially if you can recast it on the same target, kind of like Tassadar's, what's it called, like Double Size Storm. And it's good if you can cast it on different targets too. The grenade options might be interesting, like if you're playing like a gank squad team, System Shock could be really, really good because you knock someone back, you slow them, and then like Kerrigan comes in and boom, like easy Kerrigan combo. And then once again, we don't know how good Grenade is yet, but if it's like amazing, then Second Opinion could be really, really good. But since we're going with like a defensive build, let's go with Shield Sequencer here. And then at level 20, so Transfusion increases the duration of Stim Drone by 2 seconds. You also gain the effects of Stim Drone when cast on an ally. I don't think that's particularly good if you take Stim Drone. Medbay, Medevac heals nearby allies and everyone aboard for 300 health per second. So that seems awesome. Caduceus Reactor 2.0, while Caduceus Reactor is active, you restore 8 mana a second and gain shield that absorbs 210 damage, stacking up to 5 times. So you get a shield up to 1k and you basically never run out of mana. That could be really, really, really good too. And then we have Storm Shield. So I think that the level 20 tier is kind of a toss-up between Medbay and Caduceus Reactor. We'll have to wait to see what kind of mana problems Medic has, because if she has mana problems, then this would be really, really good. But the thing about Medbay is it makes Medevac something that you can even use like mid-team fight just to heal your fight up. Like say you guys are fighting and then like, I don't know, most of your team is at 40% and most of their team is at 40%. You just load up the Medevac, like have people get in it or just have people fight around it and then like hop, I don't know, 5 feet over, and then everybody gets out and they're all healed up. So I think we're gonna go with medbay because it's just like it's really, really fun, or it seems really, really fun. And I think once again there's a lot of high skill cap, high reward potential for it, and that's not the case for Caduceus Reactor because it's more like, all right, no matter what you do, you're gonna get value out of it. But yeah, we're gonna have to test a lot between these two walls to see which one's better. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you like these kind of videos, let me know in the comments below, because usually I do like analysis on gameplay or analysis on draft or something like that. This is more of like a theory crafting speculation video, which, you know, I have a lot of fun doing, but I'm not sure if people have a lot of fun watching. Anyway, my name is Blinks. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please share this video with your friends. See you guys next time. Bye.
The first